I didn't hear it. They were down for that. So March. Yes. And
So
then
really
C.
quick, it
Yes.
doesn't matter like hold on, let me turn my camera on. Oh, so H doesn't have to be like this right here because I see yours is kind of up. It doesn't matter.
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
H can be here, but oh, let me explain this too. This is a bit complicated. That's why I'm going to mention it. When you're finger spelling, you want your hand to be comfortable. And so, with that, sometimes letters will kind of modify a little bit how you shape them and hold them to match with the word or the sentence you're signing. So, how I go up like that. If you see this, this is my CH. It's very fast. It goes CH. Instead of me going CH, it's I know. Y'all are all sitting there going, this lady is crazy right now. But my H will go up here instead of going to the side because that's the natural, like it's almost like your natural movement on how you do it. If you think about it when you're writing, and if you, I don't know if any of y'all do, but you connect your letters like I do when I'm writing I can't even think of it right now, but I'll have like letters that will just naturally connect because of how their movements go. It's that same sort of concept. Um, it also can happen with what's the other letter? I'm trying to think. There's this word where the N or there's a letter that does not go fully down like it typically does. It's not a P. It's not one of those. It's like this. So like my N instead of going like fully down like this, it's like it goes like I'm just finger spelling many. Sorry, Many. Like that N goes out like this because the next movement is a Y. So I'm not going Y, Y. It flattens itself. I know this is very ASL 2 or 3. Okay, I'm gonna give you all that. So if you're like, you're losing me, do not stress. Okay, this is a very complex. That's why I was mentioning. This is not, I'm not expecting you guys to know how to do that. It honestly comes naturally the more you practice. The more spelling you do, your hand will naturally go in that more comfortable position because like in Y, if you do in like flatten it in Y, it's not as smooth as just a flat. Okay. So that's why I'm going to try to slow my hand down and stop that, but I can't help myself. If I do this, this is very natural. Slapping your hand like stop. It's like when you're talking and you can't stop and you're like that. So it's just like a little slap. Stop doing that. Okay. Let's go back to our months. So we had our March. Okay. Then our April, you will fingerspell fully because it's so short. April. April. Okay. May, fully spell. And this one, I'm going to have to really go slow. Last name causes me problems. May. Okay. May. All right. That's exactly, yeah, May. I saw you do it right here in the little corner. I'm like, yeah, that's why I had to slow myself. As a last name, my last name being May, I have it way too fast. I have it way too mastered. So, May, okay. June, you're going to fingerspell fully. So June. Okay. So June. Aha, that's where it was. I knew there was another. It's right here. It doesn't flatten on that E, that NE, because it pulls back. Okay. July, full spell. July. July. Okay. And if you caught it, my U and L, it shifts. So it goes from being a U to an L. Again, practice. That comes naturally. Okay. Our August, we do go back to the shorthand, so it's AUG. August. So August. Okay. October, OCT. So
What
O.
did September do to you?
I skipped September. I'm so sorry.
That's my birthday
I get
month.
really excited for October
I'm
because
on to
it's
you.
Halloween and that's one of my favorite months. So that's totally my reasoning for skipping the month of September. I don't know how that happened. September is going to be SEPT. So September. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we had our October, OCT. Then November is going to be NOV. So November. hmm And then December, DEC. So DEC. It is important you kind of do emphasize that E a little bit. So it's DEC. Okay. How are we feeling our months after the chaos that was my finger spelling really fast? Are we feeling okay? Feeling good? The more you drill with the finger spelling, the easier it'll come by and you'll catch I guess, a pace with it and how you get that motion with it. Okay? All right. So we did our days of the week, we did our months of the year. Let's now move on to our places at the moment and on top of that with the jobs too. Yes, they're a very good way. The more you practice the months that like your letters, it helps kind of connect them better and see how you would move from one letter to the next. Okay, so the first sign we're going to do for sign for place. Yes. Oh, let me do this real quick before I forget. So the sign for okay is literally okay. It's okay. It goes very fast where it goes okay. It literally, you just like, this is okay. Because it's O and you're flicking it. So it's okay. 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 So that one's okay. I got it. It's just a thumbs up. hmm Or unless you're saying understand. And if you're trying to say like I understand, it's understand. Understood. You flick your finger up and you put it next to your head because it's almost like you have a light bulb and that it turned on. You got it. Understood. Understand. Okay? The sign for repeat is again. 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 So you just like you would just say this for again, repeat. Um, oh, I'm trying to think. There's another one here. I cannot remember. Anyways, it's that word, that sign. Golly, I cannot think of the words I'm trying to say tonight, you guys. It's really bad. I feel like it's bad every time I have a class, but I'm like, I don't know what it is right now. I cannot think of this word I'm trying to think of.
I'm coming off mute just for a second because it'll be faster. And you said this is slow down.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great.
I saw you sign that and I went, oh, I really need to slow down. So yes, I saw that and I went, I got it. I understood. I was like, whoops, my bad. So it's just natural for me. I talk fast, I sign fast. Okay, let's now do our places. So the first time we're going to do is the sign for place. Okay, this one is a bit awkward. So I'm going to show it to you first and then I will explain it. Okay, so the sign is place. Place. So what I'm doing is I have basically two K's with both hands. I'm gonna turn them sideways. Okay, so they're flat. I have them away from me, and you're gonna start with your middle fingers touching each other. You're gonna bring them out, bring them back, and put them together. And if you look at the shape you're making a square slash rectangle. Place. Place. Okay, so that's where that place comes from. So place, because it's a rectangular location. Even if it's not, it's talking about being in a spot. Okay, so place. This is more, not always, I'm trying to think of places. People will sometimes use area instead of the sign for places I've seen. And so the sign for area is just an open 5 and you just go area, the area or area. It's like an A and it opens to 5. Area, 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 area. Okay. So obviously, the first place I have to do, so totally biased, is school. Okay, so the sign for school is school. You pat your hands, and they're not on top of each other. They're like across each other. Yeah, school. School. And you tap it twice. School. School. Okay. Now, for my friend here who is in school, I'm going to give you elementary, middle, and high school. Because that's exactly why. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not trying to ignore it, but I was like, I knew, I was like, she's going to want to know that. So the sign for elementary school is you're going to do your non-dominant is going to have this flat hand. Your dominant is going to be an E, and you shake it underneath. Elementary. So this is elementary. So elementary school. Okay. Elementary school. So then we have middle school. Middle, this is the same sign for middle. Anytime you're talking about something being in the middle, it's middle, any of that. You're going to have your non-dominant palm up. You're going to have your dominant, excuse me, middle finger sticking out. And what you're going to do is you're going to go middle. So you just kind of do a little dance with it and then flick. So it's like I circle it and down. Middle, middle, middle. Yeah. Yep. It's got a nice little fancy little flair with it. Middle. So middle school. Okay. Then we have high school. Unfortunately and fortunately, high school is just HS. High school. High school. Just very fast. H into an S. High school. High school. High school. Yep. So now you can go and say, I know how to say middle school and high school and elementary. I'm sorry, I have to give bragging rights. I don't know why. That's just like, because I was that way. That's exactly why. I was going to say, I don't know why. No, I know why. I wanted to go show off. So,
You had the intel.
exactly. I have to. So, all right. So we had our school. Now we're going to do our library again, which I know technically we did when we did
Hey,
jobs last week.
Jillian,
Do it again. Yes.
will you tell them about public school?
Yes. 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 Thank you for that. Okay. So I am going to stay on this real quick. So, what's interesting is the sign for a public school versus a private school. And then obviously a deaf school. We call it just deaf. We just add the sign deaf school. But the sign for public school is actually the sign hearing, which I thought we did, but we may not. Hearing is going to be a pointer finger, and you just circle it in front of your lips, like hearing. And it's almost, when people used to go blah, 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 blah to be funny, it's like that kind of deal. I'm sorry, that's the only thing I could think of. I saw Miss Katie's head just drop. She's like, I can't. So hearing, okay? So public school is hearing school. So that's how you say it is hearing school. I think that's very interesting and
Which I
crazy because,
love. They don't care if it's public or private. It is for
right?
hearing people.
Right? They're like hearing school. So I think that one is funny. So public school. Yep. You just go hearing in school. Okay. There is also private school, which private is private. It's like your thumb and you tap it on your lips. Private. Private school. Private school. Private.
Okay, and this is the same private eye, private school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, private. If it's a private conversation, you want to be secretive. If it's a secret, you do this. It's all up here. Private. Private school. Okay. Now, the next time we're going to do is the sign for library. And so the sign for library is going to be an L in that circle motion. So library. Okay. Then we're going to do the doctor's office. Okay. And the reason I say that is because you can just say in general doctor, I'm going to the doctor's, like the doctor. Okay. But if you wanted to add doctor's office, which you can, the sign for office, oh, let me do this, is also the same sign for room, any sort of room. Okay. We're going to kind of focus on that little spot real quick. And the sign for room, there are two of them. All right. I'm going to show you the first sign and then I'll show you the next. Like no, what am I saying? Gosh, I'm going to show you before I explain it. Sorry, that was really butchered. So the sign for room is room, room. So what I'm doing is I'm making a box. So I have my dominant hand, does not really matter, whichever is comfortable, is in front. My non-dominant's in the back, and then I turn it sideways. So I'm making the shape of a box. So again, it's like four walls in a room, room, room. Okay? Some people will do R's for room to be more English, being more direct on you're talking about a room. Um, and then there's also office, which is O's. Office, office, office. So if you were going to say you work in an office, you would just say work office, office. So it's the O's, they're flat, they're sideways, and then they turn office, office. So same shape, just now with the O's. Office. Okay? So if you want to say you're going to the doctor's office, you just go doctor's office. Okay? Now, if we were going to the grocery store or go shopping in any kind of store, the sign for store is going to be I say two hand puppets, but they're sad, so they're pointing down, okay? And then you shake them. Store, store, okay? Store. If you're talking about a grocery store, you're going to do the sign for food, just food, food. So you're just tapping it to your mouth, and you do want to tap it a few times. Food, food. So food, store, food, store. mm-hmm. And then if you were going to say a clothing store, you would just do the same thing, but now for a sign for clothing. So clothing or clothes is going to be clothes, clothes. So clothing store, clothing store. Okay. Some restaurants, which restaurants, why was I was going to food store, that's why. Some grocery stores and restaurants have their own name sign. If they're popular and well known enough, they do have their own name sign. So I was going to do some grocery stores first, and then I was going to do restaurants when we did the sign for restaurant. So the first one I want to do, or what's going to do, is going to show you is Walmart. So Walmart has a fist with your non-dominant. Your dominant is going to start as a W and bend down. Walmart. W-M. Walmart. So it goes from a W into an M. Walmart. Walmart. So Walmart. Okay. We have Walmart. Then we have Target. Okay. Target is, okay, so I'm going to show you the sign because it's Target. 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 And the reason for this is because it's almost like talking about here's the circle with the dot in the nose. Like you're going to the circle, the center, the dot. Target. So I like bend it and point. Bend it and point. Bend it, point. Target. Target. Okay. And then Publix. Publix is an X, and you're going to tap it on your chin. Publix. 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 I'm trying to think of if there's any others. Aldi is fingerspelled. Whole Foods I've seen just kind of Whole Foods WF. I think I've seen it fingerspelled.
Gillian.
Yes.
Piggly Wiggly has to have a sign.
See. Now that one we don't shop at often, so it's like Piggly Wiggly. But but there could be a sign, and I just don't know. I don't shop at Piggly Wiggly. I know. Well, but I don't have one here. I don't have one here. I have a Publix. I have a Walmart. I don't have a Target, but I have a Target nearby.
There's no Piggly Wiggly out there.
Not that I know
You're
of.
in a Piggly Wiggly desert.
Yeah, literally. So, but I have seen people do pig, like the sign for pig. Like I went shopping at the pig. That one has made me laugh. I'm like, no, it's not an actual pig. It's a Piggly Wiggly. But yeah, so that one may not be the official sign for Piggly Wiggly, but that's what has been used sometimes. So, okay. I was trying to think if there's any other grocery stores. Grocery stores, I know Target's not necessarily only a grocery store. It has clothes too, and so is Walmart. The bigger popular stores. Let's see. I was trying to think of any other clothing stores. I typically see fingerspell.
What if
I
you're
don't see.
saying a convenience store? Like you've got to go to like a 7-Eleven or something, like a gas station type. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Not,
Yes.
yeah.
I wish for Sephora and Ulta, but I've seen it fingerspelled. Um, for a convenience store that has a gas station, you would do the sign for gas, which the sign for gas, there are two ways you can do it. I know I'm just throwing a lot at y'all. It's a very hodgepodge class, like a mix of everything. It can be gas, so it's your non-dominant is in a fist. Your dominant thumb goes in like you're pouring in the gas station. So you could do gas store. I typically, if I say I have to go to, I say I'll go to the gas and then I shop. I'll say Circle K. Circle K, yeah. So circle,
So instead of being specific, you're describing like where you're going and what you're doing.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. If they were to ask me where I go, then I would like go for circle. I do like circle and then a K. 7-Eleven, I would do 7-Eleven. But like Chevron, Shell, those I would fingerspell. Shelly. Shell. I caught that Y coming out. I saw that little pinky. I was like, what in the world? Shell. Shell. I would fingerspell for very specific. Bucky's, I have not seen, unfortunately. It is very depressing because that is a very, very fun one. I love Bucky's. We fingerspell that one, Buceey or C, whichever it is. Typically, you fingerspell fast enough, someone's going to catch the first few letters and know what you're talking about. So even if you spell Bucky's like Buccee or Bucee, whichever way, they're going to know you're talking about the Bucky's. Walgreens, I've seen fingerspelled. Same with CVS. They'll just, well, CVS is easy. CVS. CVS. So it can be shorthand, CVS. Okay. All right. Let's go on to our restaurants right here. The sign for restaurant is going to be an R, and you're going to start on the opposite corner of your mouth. So if you're right-handed, it'd be on your left side. If it's your left hand, it's on your right. And you're going to go restaurant, restaurant. It's like you go down. It's like you're going down the corner of your mouth. Restaurant, restaurant. The reason for this is because with two fingers, this is napkin. Napkin. So like when you go to a restaurant and you like, you get your napkin and you dab the corners of your mouth like you finished eating, it's that concept. So a napkin, so with the two fingers, napkin, and then the R for restaurant, restaurant, restaurant. Okay? And for schools, it's cafeteria, same thing with a C, cafeteria, cafeteria. You're very lucky you got a teacher who is also a teacher who was also doing this because everything I'm like, I can apply this to school. We can do this one and that one, all of that. So, cafeteria, restaurant. Now, some restaurants have sign names. So it's not usually like the big fancy ones that have all the fancy names. Those you typically have to fingerspell. It's more of your basic, what you see often, more common ones. So McDonald's has one. So if your non-dominant is a fist, you're going to start with an M. You're going to tap it on top, and then you're going to go MD. McDonald's. 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 Yep, so MD for McDonald's. There's been one where it's McDonald's, but that one's not seen as often. It's like you make the M shape with it. McDonald's? McDonald's? I see this one more often. MD. McDonald's. Okay. Then we have Starbucks, which I know is not really a restaurant, but it's a coffee shop. So Starbucks is going to be 2 8s, and you're going to flick the fingers together. Starbucks. 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 And I am like flicking, they are like hitting each other. So Starbucks. Wow, you're just having a great time. I'm hitting every little check mark over there of any little store or restaurant you go to. I can see it on her face. She's like, it has a sign. I told you, the more popular ones have signs. So Starbucks. Burger King is you're gonna do the sign for burger, which is burger. It's like you're making the hamburger patty, so burger. And then the sign for king. The sign for king is you're gonna have a K. You're gonna go on your opposite shoulder and bring it down to your hip. It's like you're making a sash. Okay, king. So Burger King. Okay. Trying to think. Taco Bell, I've seen finger spelled. Zaxby's is finger spelled. Chick-fil-A, I've seen finger spelled and also sign, but the sign I'm not sure because every time I see it, it changes on me. So I do see it more finger spelled. Chick-fil-A. It's like if you do it fast enough, Chick-fil-A. It's like just you go CHI and then fla and leave it at that is like good enough. The Chick-fil-A sign I've seen is Chick-fil-A. It's like a 3 Chick-fil-A. I have to double check on that one. Yeah, I've seen it's weird. It's a weird one. And every time I ask someone, it's always different. I'll double check on that one. But yes, Chick-fil-A is very popular for my sister. So I knew. I was like, I know she's gonna ask about Chick-fil-A. Okay. I'm trying to think. I think Those are the few restaurant signs I've seen. Again, those are more because they are more common. You do typically always see a McDonald's or a Burger King nearby. And Starbucks. Starbucks is very cool because there is a Starbucks at the college called Gallaudet University. And that is the first and only deaf college in the country. And so it's near Washington, D.C. It's very cool. And they have a Starbucks there where all the employees know ASL. And so when you have your deaf students, deaf teachers going over and ordering Starbucks, they can order just like normal, signing it to the person. They try to be very deaf friendly. They've had other Starbucks that also have had their coworkers learn ASL, especially if they know any deaf people are in the community. So it's very cool. So I think that's why they probably got a sign. They're they try to be very involved with the deaf community. It's very cool. So, little fun fact there. Okay. Our next place we're going to do is the police station and the fire station. So for the police station, you're going to do the same. You're going to just basically do the sign for police, which the sign for police is like a baby C. So like one finger, I mean, and you're going to go here, police. So talking about the badge, basically. So police. If you're going to go to the police station, you would just say police. I'm going to go to the police. Okay. Then for firemen slash fire station, if you remember, I think we did this one with it. It's a B and you're going to bring it on your forehead, fireman. And so for this one, it's because when they have the helmet, they usually have that big logo right on top. So fireman. Okay. So if you're going to the fire station, yeah, fire station. I don't know why that word is just feeling wrong to me. I think it's just I don't say it often enough. You would just say, I'm going to the fire station. I'm going to go to the fire station. All right. Let's see. Let's see. We did our restaurant, we did our stores, we did our library, we did school. If you're going to a business, like you work at a business place, all right, the sign for business is going to be you're going to have two B's. You're going to have your non-dominant turn sideways, and then your dominant is going to go back and forth across the top. Business. Okay. Business. This is also similar to busy, whereas busy is right here. It's smaller and you're just going back and forth like busy, like you're shaking it, busy, whereas it's business. Okay. So if you are a businessman or a businesswoman, you would just do business man, businesswoman. You can also even do business person. So business person, just business person, that as well, business person. Okay. And like I think I mentioned it, I think last week, the more specific you get, the more you have to fingerspell things. So just an FYI, if you're wanting to be really, really specific about your job title and it's like 4 different titles all in one, good luck. Have fun fingerspelling it. Okay. Other places. I'm trying to think of some other places.
You
Y'all put
mean like
any,
hospital or clinic?
thank you. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm forgetting
Well, I mean, I
some.
guess doctor's office, but like a urgent care,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. No, and there are signs for those. So yes, thank you. I was like, I know there's more. I don't know why my brain's dropping. So the sign for hospital is it's gonna be on the side of your non-dominant arm. You're gonna have your dominant in the H, okay? You're gonna go across and down. Hospital. And it's like the big red plus, hospital, hospital, hospital. Okay, so hospital. Um, if you were gonna go to the emergency room, it's just ER. I had to go to the ER. All right, ER. And then urgent care is UC. UC. Typically I will give you, sorry, this is warning, like heads up. When you are signing UC, you want to make sure your context clues are enough to make it known that you're talking about urgent care. So, for example, if I was saying, I do not feel good, I am sick, which we will do descriptions, I promise. That one will come later. You would then be like, I went to like the UC, urgent care. But if you're saying, oh yeah, yesterday I went to UC, they may be like, what's UC? You kind of have to have context. Or if you don't want to explain context, you would just want to fingerspell urgent then, urgent care. Either way, usually I typically, if I don't think my context clues are going to be enough, I will fingerspell urgent care and then go, like, I'll go urgent care, UC, UC, to show them like that's my like shorthand for it. So, urgent care. Um, the clinic, if you're going to a clinic, it's the same thing as hospital, but with a C. Clinic, 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 clinic. Okay. All right, let me see. Oh, there are places. I'm trying to think. If you're going to a car shop or a car place to get it fixed, there are kind of two ways you would do it. The sign for car is car, car. So like you have the wheel. Um, if you're going shopping for a car, you would do car shop, like car store, like a looking car store. But if you're talking about getting it fixed, getting anything repaired, you would do car fix. Like car, and then, oh man, I keep doing this. Fix, two flat fingers, flat puppets, and they go back and forth. Fix, fix. Sorry, it's a spelling word. That's why my brain said, yeah, we already know this. No, we don't. It's repair. The word is repair, is our spelling word. So, like, inside, I was like, yeah, we already know this one. We've seen it. No, we haven't. No, my bad. So, fix. Okay. Let's see, any other places? I'm trying to think of any other places you guys can think of. Be broad, don't be specific. I saw that. I saw that. Ooh, this is a specific place. Any y'all can think of. Pharmacy, stadium. Okay. For a pharmacy, typically fingers. Oh, no, you did not miss that. Thank you, dentist. Sorry. That one I was like, I didn't even think. For a pharmacy, if you're going to a pharmacy, you typically, I've seen it kind of spelled or not spelled out, or like, for example, because I know CVS has the pharmacy that typically people will go to, they will just fingerspell CVS, CVS for pharmacy. If it's a different one, I would name it like fingerspell name it. So I'm trying to think of one. I go to CVS. That's what I'm trying to think. Um, you can just
There's
fingerspell.
Crestline Pharmacy, which is like
Yeah.
really, yeah.
So I would do crest line. Oh gosh, that was a really terrible finger spelling. Crest line pharmacy. Like I'd finger spell it out, basically. Stadium. Okay. So stadium, we will get into sports later. That is going to have its own topic where we'll talk about the different sports. So I'm not going to throw them out here now, but I am going to show you the sign for stadium that we can later apply to our sports. So stadium is you're going to have like slightly bent fives and you go up. Stadium. And it's like all the chairs. Yeah. So it's like you're raising them up because it's all the chairs and everything. Stadium. Stadium. Game. If you're going to like a game, well, games, I'll just give the basic sign for game. Game is two thumbs up and they tap. Game. Game. So if you're going to like a soccer game, again, we're going to a sports. I promise we'll go to sports later, but it's 6:15 and I'm like, I'm not adding that right now. So game. Okay. Dentist is going to be another thumbs up, but it's going to be on the side, so the back of your hand, and you're going to tap it next to your mouth. Dentist, dentist, dentist. To go get your teeth fixed. Dentist. A safe place. So safe place is going to do the sign for safe, and if you remember our sign for place, okay? So the sign for safe is going to be two S's. You're going to have them crossed, okay? And then you're going to twist them out. Safe, safe. So safe place, safe place. Okay, safe place. And this safe, this is also save, like if you need something to save someone. It's not for like saving your money though. Okay, that is different. That one does have its own different version, different sign. This is talking about anything that would be related with rescuing or free. That's also the sign for free. Typically, people will do it with the F's for free to make it more English, but it's still that same motion, save. So it's safe place, safe place. Okay? Yes. Okay. That's a good one. Sorry, the last one I looked at. I had the next one. I promise we were getting to hair and nails, but I looked at the next one because I was like jumping down. But for a hair salon and a nail salon, a sign for a haircut is like for a haircut, even if you're not getting a haircut, okay? I don't like to cut my hair. I dye my hair. I still sign this. Is you go hair, like cutting, like you're cutting it, like hair place. So I would say I'm going to get it cut. All right. Even if I'm dyeing my hair, I like to say I'm going to get my hair fixed where I like tap my hair, like I'll touch it like this, hair fixed because I'm getting it refreshed and I don't like cutting my hair. I'm very strict about that. I'm only like cut off the dead ends and that's it. We're not losing any more. Very proud of the long hair here. Okay. Going to a nail salon is you would do the sign for nail, which the sign for nail is like you're painting your nails. So nail. It's like you're painting your nails and then store, nail, nail. Like very like I'm pretending like I'm actually putting on nail, store. Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. The next one was is how do you say I'm going to make a sentence with these? So there are two ways you can do it. I'm going to give you the very basic, simple way of it. It's just putting it where you would put it. Okay. More English based, which is not going to be, I've not had experience with it being hated on or being judged. It is just more English, kind of that heads up, is saying me go store. Okay. That's the phrase basically that you're going to be signing. So you point to yourself for me, and the sign for go is you have it like a G and you pull it to a close. It's almost like you're signing G-O. Go, go, go. Okay. So go. And you want to bring it forward like because you're leaving this way. I'm going. Go. So me, go. Me, go. Okay. So me, go, store. Okay. Yeah, so me, go, store. And it can go very smooth. So where you literally start with a point and you're already in your G into it. So go, go. It doesn't have to be me, go, store. It can go all in one motion. Me, go, me, go, me, go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that one can be used. I see it often. It is more English though. So the correct ASL structure would be you would actually talk about the place you're going first. So like if we're going to the store first, we would do store and then we would say me go. So store, me go. Mm-hmm. So you sign it's reverse. So instead of having your ooh, what's the word? Dropping that from now. Like having instead of having your subject kind of in the beginning, like me in the beginning, me go to store, it's now I'm at the end with having my like location, the predicate kind of goes in the front. So store, me go. Eat, me finish kind of deal. All right. So like I'm eating and then me done. Okay. Sorry, I was got a weird email. Um, that is the more ASL on it. Like I said though, a lot of times with the English, it's okay. It's not obviously it's not ASL, but I have seen it more and more often, not be as judged. And I'll catch myself with it. It is hard to make that full transition to full ASL, especially when it's not your first language. So if you do end up saying like me, go, restaurant, that sort of thing, it's okay. It's not going to be like they're not going to know what you're saying. Okay. So but it just know it's not perfect ASL. It is more broken ASL English combined. Um, which again is not always the worst thing in the world. It's not bad. As long as your point gets across, it should be good. Okay. Any other places you guys can think of or phrases that you guys would like to know with that kind of thing?
Is there a sign for post office?
Yes. Do you love how I had to sign it to myself first? So the sign for post office is just mail office. And the sign for mail is like you pretend like you're licking a stamp and you're like putting it post, mail, 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 office, mail, office, mail, office. So post office. So it's just like you're taking your little stamp, you've already licked it, and you're tapping it on the letter. Post office, post office, post office. Sorry, I'll go slower. Post office, office, office. It is, this one is very awkward. And if your O's go up, it's not going to be a big issue. So, like, if your O's are like, even if you did like straight up, it's going to be fine. They're going to know what you're saying. Office. There is a sign for Jim. So, the sign for Jim is going to be two G's. And you're gonna go Jim, like it's on your shoulders. I typically do one hand, that's why I'm thinking it, but Jim, and you're flipping it up. It's almost like, think about like when you're doing jump ropes. Okay? Jim, Jim. So two hands or one hand, Jim. So me go to the gym. Okay? That was making me think. Let me see. I'm trying to think of.
We had those signs that I think Ryan sent that were like carbon monoxide detector that would kind of go along with the emergency,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. Well, I was trying, I remembered you sent me a list and I was like, wait, I have a list. And I had pulled it up. I had two different tabs kind of
I think
saved.
it dawned on us at the exact same time.
It did. It really did. So the sign for ASL is ASL. So if you wanted to say you only knew a little bit of ASL, I would do like me, no, which is no, like tap on the side of your head. ASL. And then just do it like little, like a little, like a little. So that's how you would say me. I know a little bit of ASL. It's me, no, ASL, little.
And then what is the sign for fingerspell again?
You wiggle your fingers.
You just, okay.
Wiggle them. Finger spell. And they will tell you if they're asking you to finger spell something, they will, if you're trying to sign something and they're not catching, they'll just say finger spell it. What? So they will use this one, finger spell. Okay. We had another, wait, let me find it. Someone asked a different bunch sent Miss Katie a bunch of different phrases that they would like to see as signs. So I'm gonna go ahead and do those because I know we only got 7 minutes left. We will pause our weather. I apologize. We will pause our weather. And we'll come back to it at a later time. I think next week we should continue on with our animals and then our food, and then we'll come back to it.
Yeah, we could do weather at the end with,
Yeah, our big
because we
cluster
talked
thing.
about like tornado drill and,
Right.
we can do a little thing like that. It'll be closer to spring anyway.
That is true. That is true. So, okay. The sentences that we had sent to us was for taking the dog out. Can you let the dog out? So if you have a dog, what you would do. So I had to, it's funny when you sent them to me, Miss Kate, I had to literally sit there and see how would I send them. So if you wanted to take the dog out, you would say dog, which okay, again, we don't know dog. Sorry, brain jump in on that. Dog, this is the shorthand, okay? This is not the full sign for dog. It's your pointer finger and your thumb, and you bounce your middle finger, not your thumb, your pointer finger and your middle finger. Golly. And you bounce your thumb on the middle finger. It's almost like, when we did our 23, this motion for 23, it's just now with your thumb touching. And the reason for this is like it's like you're snapping your fingers, like, come here, boy, kind of deal. So dog, all right? So dog, and if you wanted to say out, so dog out. This also means going out, like needs to go out. So dog out. Um, if you were trying to ask them, can you take the dog out? There's a bunch of different ways you do it. I'm gonna give this simpler phrase that's shorter, just to be a little bit easier since it's also basic ASL. You would do what you do is you go dog out, and then you look at the person to go, do you mind? Okay, so do you mind taking the dog out? The sign for mind is, or do you mind, is do you mind? It's you slide your finger down and but you look at them while you do it. And again, remember, we're asking a question, so our eyebrows are up. So dog out. Do you mind? Do you mind? So dog out. You mind? You mind? But no, usually nice though. Now you're not being scary. You're trying to sweet talk him into taking the dog out. Not, I saw
Okay,
it. She
that's
went big old
really
bug
hard to think about.
out.
That's going to take some practice.
if mine, do you mind is too hard, I think if you went dog out, like with eyebrows up, asking that that would be like enough to be like, can you take the dog out? The dog goes out.
Okay, your eyebrows go up.
Yes, yes, because it's a yes or no.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Um, if you're saying the kids are awake, they are all awake. The house is a movement. What you do is the sign for kid, which we did with our family. So hey, look, we have a sign we already learned, and I'm not throwing you a whole new set just yet. You're good. So kids, you'd go kids. And then the sign for awake is you have like two little 20s next to your eyes and they spring up, spring up. So kids, awake, awake, awake. That's also the sign for surprise. So it's very similar. I typically do for like if I'm saying wake up, it's smaller, and then surprise, it's bigger because it's a bigger announcement. Okay. If you're saying your smoke detector is going off or smoke alarm, which is an emergency sign, um, we usually do fire alarm, and alert. So the sign for fire is fire. So you wiggle your fingers up, fire. And then the sign for alert/alarm is you have a pointer finger and it dings. This is also for bell. All right. So anything that's going to ring like that, it's usually this. So I'd be like fire alarm, and saying that it's going off is just you constantly like doing this. So fire, like it's dinging right now. This is the current. So fire alarm. Okay. Um, let's see. If you were trying to say we need to get out of the house, we need to leave. That one's a simple one, okay? What you do is we're just going to sign we need leave or go, all right? So the sign for we is you're going to point to your closest shoulder and go across. You make a circle because it's including everybody. We need is it? I'm sorry. Usually we have so many more of these signs that my brain is like, we've gotten this. And I'm like, no, I need to slow down. I'm throwing so much at y'all right now. I feel bad. It's a little X and you tap it. Need. So we need, and then you can do leave. So it's similar to our go, but remember our go is one person versus go, which I mean, this can also be used for all we need to go, but I'm saying like leave. We need to leave.
Okay, honestly, for anyone who has ever worked in any kind of customer service,
Mm-hmm.
restaurant, this, like you recognize that sign.
Yeah.
Somebody,
I need it. I need it. So, okay. I think that was all. If I missed a few, we can always check back. I know this one's been a bit all over the place, which is fine. I think that it's always interesting to see different signs, especially because we don't always get we don't always have people ask as many questions as y'all do. And I
yeah,
love
no,
it.
I really like this because we also learned several different phrases that a
Yes.
lot of times when it's just vocabulary, we don't get the phrases in.
No,
So
but
I
I
think
do
that's
feel bad
awesome.
because there is a lot of vocabulary we also didn't know. And I'm like, my bad. I'm not being as slow as I could because my instincts is like, okay, we've gotten this already. Let's go to the next one. I'm like, no, we don't know that. So, but we'll stop there for tonight because I know it was a lot. Um, and then let's see. What was I going to say with that? Oh, next week, I think our list had it for this week. So this week was going to be animals. So we'll start with next week being animals and we'll continue with that. That's a big topic. I know a lot of people had to leave, not leave, well, a lot of people had to leave. Some people were not able to come. For our class that is talking about what's that word? Why is that word leaving me? The health signs that someone had asked for. What we'll do is we'll postpone it till next Tuesday when our other person who was curious about it is available.
Yes. Okay, I have a list from Amy, so I'll get in touch with you about that. And
Yes.
then yes, we'll work that out.
So we can do that. I think we can try
We'll do the
next.
same thing just next week.
Yes. So
That's
where
what
we'll
I told Amy.
extend. So yes, we can do that, and that way we can get those signs in because I feel bad that we've had like 5 weeks of
No,
that.
she said it was fine. Like,
Okay,
that's
good.
totally fine.
Okay, good.
Because our other person is not here tonight either. So, there was something I was going to say about these signs though. What was it? Oh shoot. I don't remember. Tomorrow, when I send out the class recap, the vocabulary sheet, I have a section of phrases, and for the most part, I'll have, you might be thinking this in English, but you'll be signing this in ASL. Because Jillian does point that out a pretty good bit.
Mhm.
And I think that's it, unless you have something
I think
else.
so. I think so. I was looking at my list again. We did so much. That's why I was like, whew.
Is this typically, what were you doing? You said typically, and you were like,
Oh, I was doing typically is like you typically,
okay, 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 okay.
typically. But sometimes it's funny, I'm saying this now after like most everyone has left because it's time to go. But sometimes with my signing, obviously signing and talking at the same time is not always perfect. Sim calming, it's not the best of both worlds. It's usually better if you do one versus the other. I just can't turn off the signing sometimes. It's hard. Even when I'm teaching an ASL class, it's like my hands are like, no, you have to still be signing.
Well, I mean, you have to do both here anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. And so with that, it's not always my ASL. My ASL is not always going to be perfect. Just like if y'all have noticed, my English is not always perfect. My brain is trying to do two different languages at once. And sometimes they like the wires get very twisted. And it's like, whoa. So I have to like separate them.
I have a
Yes.
quick question.
Mhm.
So can you repeat sign? Could you do like two hands or just one hand or
So that's a good question. I am going to talk about that real quick. There are three ways you can kind of do it. Two are what you're talking about. The other one is the one I showed in the beginning, sign. This is sign.
okay,
This is almost more, I would say ASL 1. Okay. This is more like just your little basic sign for sign. Sign this, where I'm doing with two hands, I'm just bouncing it back and forth. This is more talking about the conversation. So like I need you to sign and explain to me. Sign it. Okay. Sign it with one hand is if I was being lazy. That's what I'll say. I was being more lazy with saying sign. Like I need to sign better. Sign where it's one hand.
Are you saying that you were signing you need to sign better in a lazy fashion?
I did. Yes.
Okay. I just
if I was gonna say like please slow down your sign, is that
That would still work. Yes, you can still do that. You can do either or, the signing or signing. I just think this one's more of an advanced. I feel like it's hard to tell, always hard to say, especially because we don't have so many levels of ASL. But when I was learning it, I learned it first as sign. And then later in like year 2 or 3, I learned sign because there are different ways you can do it. So it's kind of almost like a level of it. There's no wrong sign versus sign. They both are accepted. So yeah. But yes, if
thank
you
you.
do that, you're good. So, okay. I'm like dying of thirst. I know it's that.
Okay, the last thing, and then we'll go.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all. I meant to say when we do animals, we'll do things like allergic and favorite and don't like or scared or stuff
Yes.
like that that will
Yes.
help
Because
you communicate about
especially
animals.
when you're talking about animals and you're talking about pets, we will talk about how you would talk about those things. Yes. So very fun. Okay. Um, I was gonna say if anybody else has any questions, but I feel like we're kind of at our time, and I think everybody is probably like, "Oh my gosh, you've given me like 1,000 signs." So, what we'll do is we'll end it here. Like we said, next week will be animals. So think about different kinds of animals you would like to see. I will warn, the more specific you get, the less likely you may get a sign. So please do not get your heart set on a very specific, very rare type of butterfly that has a very long name. Do not get too excited and then get disappointed when I have to tell you fingerspell it. I'm giving you the heads up now so you don't get disappointed next week. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of y'all's week, and I'll see you guys all next Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Bye.